All right, it's another Wednesday and it's on the dot. Time for another episode of podcasts from Lab 20 Innovations, giving you Lab 20 podcast. And if you are there, you know what we've been talking about. Last week, we delved nkhani zokhudza miseu, nkhani zokhudza ngozi, nkhani zokhudza everything in between on transportation issues in the country. Pali zambiri mbiri zimene zakhazochitika mene chaka chinochi. There was a time where everybody was like, what is happening? Why is it that every day so I was sitting here with Christy to just find out from her what her experience has been ngati munthu amene amayendetsa galimoto on the roads of Malawi and all the things that she has been experiencing, mainly as a new driver. But then we said, no, I think we need to move this conversation so we can even now talk to people that have got some expertise in this space, mainly when it comes to Nkaniza Magalimoto, Nkaniza road usage, and Chidiyose, as far as transport kind of conversation is concerned. So it's my pleasure to sit down today with Mr. Conrad Kanjo. That's how you pronounce your name, right?
Yeah, Conrad Kanjo.
Conrad Kanjo.
Yes.
I've heard about you from a lot of people.
Okay.
Not mostly you as a person, as Conrad,
Yes.
but you as one of the person who started one of the most important groups that people that drive cars, amapita apo masiku ano, for them to get help, to get information and all that,
Exactly.
which is Know Your Car Malawi.
Yes.
Tell me, what prompted you, let me start this group. What was the kick for you to go on Facebook and say, I think we need a group, Know Your Car Malawi?
Yeah, the way it started is normally we import cars from Japan. These are used vehicles, which means people didn't have enough information about these vehicles. So what I was doing is I was doing reviews by Facebook.
Okay.
So what I was doing is Mazda Demio, giving a review. So these reviews mostly would be horsepower,
Okay.
Features in the vehicle, reliability, and everything. And then I was posting them in those groups.
Yes.
That's what I was doing. And they should be able to know what government with on his side. What are the features? Is it strong? Is it reliable? And all that. So it so happened I'm a group. For some reason they chose not to approve
those posts.
Those posts. Initially, I'm a banga. Commando later on they stopped. Maybe I want to as one on get a malonda. Let's say
maybe they were used and hasn't gone.
Yes.
Yes. But not.
Yeah, people would be carried away in Tengotsik. Or Gamodo in Tengondotsik. Kungo Idanisa will only to suffer with that car when it comes here. They chose good up. You mean as you don't get a malonda. So I said, why don't I just open a proper group? For information. They should just go into this particular group. That's why I actually mentioned Know Your Car. So that Muntu Jagapan Instagram, should know the car is importing. You see, that's how I started this group. And of course, it started so small. Kuzona would there are a few guys, Mambili Roko, Ajina Seda, Kalumbe, Mateso, Maxi. These guys in Nazonoti, they also have got some knowledge about vehicles.
Yeah.
So immediately I put them so they should assist as my admins. You see, so because we are posting all these things, every week about a certain vehicle, people started getting interested. Now they wanted to know about vehicles. And all that because group is becoming broader. And then now it went beyond my reviews.
Yeah.
They got an issue with the vehicle. They'll post it. Initially, imaka responsibility ya admin kumayanka would okay problem but with time and also my mechanics and I'm also join and also the good knowledge ya magali moto because no experts so people are being helped left, right, and center.
Yeah.
Nothing no leverage to a garmoto guy mufera kuti. It means you come by many paja afunsa garmoto and one gegera kunchewe kaya kama lights hotani. It means baby jantamuyanka. And if there's a mechanic nearby in Bari Agumeni Koko, it means enough someone also use this number, call this guy. He'll be able to assist you. Of course, I'm able to try chakuti. That's when you know. We recommend there's a mechanic nearby. Now this is the 5th year because we started in November. The 2019. Yeah, so we had a birthday just last month.
Oh, wow.
No, this month. This is November.
November, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Interesting.
19th November. Yeah.
Interesting.
Sure.
I see a lot of posts on social media, and that's how powerful I find the group to be. I know a lot of people, they are stuck and they have actually gotten help from there.
Exactly.
But now when we talk of cars, I was still feel like as Malawi, we are still learning cars. Yes. One, because we import most of these things. We import parts, everything to do with motor vehicles.
Yes.
Things that we import. Yes, we have got mechanics and we have got people that have gone to do kind of electrical engineering and whatnot. But with how things are moving faster, but in Zambia is what people need to be catching up with. From your group or from your experience, when you have all these interactions, how much do you think people really know about cars, and how much do you think the information that they share is helping the people that are trying to buy cars, or they have bought cars and they're trying to just find out about them with my thoughts and all that?
Yeah, with time, 5 years now, right? We're able to tell we've had very limited knowledge about vehicles. And as you're saying, being imported vehicles and used, not buying from dealers. Yes, because I did mean that we're buying from dealers, it would have been different. Because you've no job as a manual book, and of course, my salespeople, many wants to do as a good hand as after service. So if you buy the car, you have to know about the after service availability of parts. When it comes to imported vehicles, used, it means we be access after service, we buy parts. You know, we just buy parts, and that most of the parts are counterfeits. They're not even genuine. Which means the knowledge is so limited. So that's why my business got my and sometimes getting stuck in the Magari motor. Also, the car is bad, it's the limited resources that we have in the country. You know, that's why we had to start this group. Put on Magari motor, they should know the risk that they are taking. Most in terms of availability of parts, availability of technicians. And you know, Magari motor cars are changing. Magari motor, they're not as they were in the 90s. Panopo, you know, a car can be diagnosed. You know, immediately up and diagnose car motor equals what my problem, which means because a car motor is not supposed to be a complicated thing. Commando now with my card is a shorty and all that, and availability of drama. So sometimes you magangana mechanic whom you can afford to pay. Maybe knowledge so alibe, equipment alibe. That's why if you go come dealers, go to Nissan Malawi, ugabe and machine specifically for my Nissan. Go to Toyota Malawi, ugabe also and equipment my diagnosis machine specifically for Toyota. You know, if you get some Magari motor, when you don't have access to those dealers. Yes, and in Malawi, I've got real dealerships, not in Toyota, Nissan. Most of these cars, talk Honda, you know, there's no dealership. Talk about Suzuki, BMW, Mercedes, you know, there's no dealership in Malawi. So you take a certain amount of risk when you're bringing a vehicle in Malawi.
All right.
Yeah.
I want us to dive deep into the decision of buying a car. If I'm a new lad and I feel like nitagula gari moto. I'm talking about now my first car. You know how we have a lot of young people now off from college. I am but in Shito Chani.
Yes.
And I didn't know what I mean. Wow. And I go to Magari moto. So they have got interaction. Prior to how many you also want to decision to find a great gari moto. Koma pali na oti tayoka kumudzi tapita ku school pano bazayamba kuteka, and I want to buy a car. I'm making a decision to buy a car. What would be your advice kwa munthu amene akufuna kugula kumene gari moto panopa? looking at everything, looking at the economy, looking at kusamalira galimoto, and looking at the initial investment imene munthu chakupanga kupereka ndrama for the first time for him to own his own first car.
Yes.
Advice yanu, what would you tell this person to consider when buying a car?
Yeah, even panoyo car, people do ask, could you ndrama mwagu I want to buy my first car and all that. Komano pali ena amabwera ku inbox.
Okay.
They'll ask me, if I'm not jama funa to kumfunsabe kuti, how big is your family?
Yeah.
Range ya gari motor, it's how much? So because of inbox, of course, we save information like maybe income and all that.
Yes.
Yeah. So no, it depends. You know, kuti muntu ya level mostly in terms of my resources, and I'm talking about even money.
Money, yeah. Because why I'm asking you this question is because timajoga sikuti nange kukonfess konkuna. I don't know why tinali kutiko kaya, but there was a joke. I mean, IMD anaponya. Oh, tandika meeting ngena kake. Ndana mapoya amagemula anthu za magali motors, ndi anaponya ka joke kuti ndepali anthu ena masiku ano ezoti ali ndi gali moto koma chiti chose amapemphetsa fuel amene ndoda kupemphetsa. Ali ndi galimoto yachikulu koma fuel akupemphetsa. Ikangonongeka. They, of course, they were also just like joking around azimai. But they'll have a car, but the basic things the galimoto service, they don't have even that knowledge.
Yeah, it's true. But apparently, you are not ready to have a car. It's better to go to monk. How do we know? In drama, and galimoto, and the car comes here. Because the moment if a galimoto even mind let's see when I work fuel that it's not supposed to be on, because of course it's warning you the fuel but at the same time it's also we goes also good into pump mu fuel tank was exposed you see, it means that we roll mind this galimoto and it means you're not ready to have that car. So it's umafabe uzebe kuti muntu ja demography yake ndio time, because most young people they don't fancy cars. You know, young person will not want a Tida,
no, it's like
he want a Polo, he want a VW Polo, he want a VW Golf ngadaro kulirapo mina towards getting married, he want a Golf. Yet those vehicles often is mafunika be kuti muntu wake ma resources nditu samakaro short kama gama just ndo uvuta. Dimana apangila. Sometimes performance cars they're not reliable. You know, mantana magamoto amena monika reliable mo na so kuti kawi be can use it to boring or whatever. Ama cause ambila azimanga kwambiri. You know, only a performance car kawi kamizi into zambi zima car loose. The car is light, ama just some plastic, sijanja not gamoto yezitamanga. That's why episode mina antama VW wa foil and all that. But the thing is, if you've got enough resources, you can drive a BMW VW, Mercedes-Benz for a long time. One of my maybe are strong about it. Toyota, because Toyota is regarded as being reliable. You see, in everything, there's a price. If you've got a very good car, your sanga, so let's say BMW, a VW, when you're having fun in that car, there's a price. Well, that's what Toyota in reality is basic. There's also a price whereby the car becomes reliable. That's it. Perform to Jakamagua galimoto. Uzebe buti alvalevu and Jafuna galimoto choka from point A to point B. You see? Let's say I'm going downtown. And actually, my first if he says no, then just buy me like a Demio. You know, it's you have enough fun. If you got a small family and the Demio, it's enough. You start Axio, which is bigger. It's got a bigger engine, it's more comfortable, it's got space, it's got and you can speed it up, of course. My limit what's the speed limit. At least you can go a long distance, and then it's economic in terms of fuel, and then you have reliability. We look at all those things. So muntu akabagwa galimoto kwayamba at least tuzobe demography yake kuti muntu ali pati. Wangochoka ku school, is he about to get married, or is he already married kuti andika family kakang'ono and all that, because all those things come into play. Sure.
So buying a car is not just a decision that you wake up today to say ndapeza dola pena pake wapanga kasaveka kokuyamba kwalwa 15 meter nde itagwana ru Benz ri kapena BMW yako yako ndi ndikaitenge.
Unfortunately, many munthu you cannot do that. Uone kuti my sources are wazibwera bwanji. You know, anthu ambiri magara made ugura, we buy cars because you buy a car which you can afford. Kuti anthu ambiri muwafunse in terms of which is your dream car. As we go for GTI, I would want to have a Polo, chan. Mwana makhala kuti anabwera pa group pajawo, anapanga research kankuno kuti magara odawa anthu akuvutika nawo. Though it's my dream car.
Yeah.
So it might be his dream car, but he will end up buying what he can afford. Munthu amafuna GTI, he ends up in a Tida, which means akunoti Tida is affordable. Mapasi, they're cheap, it's, of course the car is spacious and all that. So we end up now buying what we can afford, other than what we dream of. Think. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Now, if we can shift a little bit, just from buying decisions to buy a car and whatnot, maintenance of a car. I don't know. Maybe my friends are just very wasteful, or I don't know what happens. But I think most of my friends, they'll buy cars, but maintaining those cars, it'll spend more days in a garage than maybe what they want to do with the car. And I know I've had several friends, close friends, I think close to, I know but not off my head, like 4 guys that are my friends. Only ndazinzanga ali samazoti uyu ndi nzake osati mango mudziwa munthu uyo. Yeah. Wanzanga oni majeza nawo magamoro 3. And this past 3 years. 4 actually, 4 cars. In this past 4 years, I mean, like Gamore Apia, BMW, Jan. Now I wonder, okay, why is it like this? Or is it like it's just the people that I know? Or what should be the key issues that one thinks about when they have a car and then they're thinking of sustaining this car?
Yeah, of course, you've mentioned Magamoto and Takawa, I even saw a Tida, which was to me I was surprised. You know, in Tida, Gamoto is basic, electronics, and baby, Yamutira Muntu. You know, maintaining a car, the moment you bring it in, you know, let's say if you go, you can cause a baby money. Of course, you know, being a used car, unfortunately, my car is a brand new car. If it's a used car, it means you have to forgo certain things. A brand new car, I was a good service interval. It's every 10,000 Ks or maybe 15,000. It's used.
You cannot stick to
you cannot. And then at the same time, my plug to my filters, we don't know where they're coming from. You know, which means if these parts are not genuine, it means this is going for a long time. That's why so we cling to 5,000 Ks
for servicing.
Yeah, service interval. 5,000 because got my plug mina nda fake, mina my filters nda fake, you know, and also make up oil cheap. Some manufacturers they recommend certain types of oils, and my oil and they are very expensive now, but synthetic. So no one has my oil cheap at my shop or these big shops, cheaper oils. You are safer if you drive mileage with a cheaper oil. The best we always cling to 5,000 Ks. Ngakali manufacturer nabanga recommend 15,000 or 10,000. And then this is so much magari motors. You know, when you bring in a vehicle, we want so good technician who be touching your car. It matters. You know, but my technician you know good mean anali helper, right? The spanner abo yamango na banaga kupanga and all that, and with time they learn. So for magari motor it's easy. Could you span up you can learn a lot of things. I was opposite and to mango not a few Jamaica choncho, Jamaica choncho, Jamaica. Come these current vehicles is Zamasuanos with a lot of electronics. You need a learned technician to be touching your car. I can go simply a park more good. That's why my camera was map myself. My car good technician was not knowledgeable, and I simply wire a park. And my result mean we suggest to Galmo drain. Mamo this banga indicate the actual indicator light. If banga brake, brake in banga, banga reverse in the banga flash.
Exactly.
It means Mutama banga which touch Galmo drain doesn't know what he's doing. I remember a certain guy on a base of Viwi Jenny Polo, a good friend, a knowledgeable also nice anabwesa polo. So to mapolo aja view normal ameka rally vest imakhala amaika remotes one side kwina kwa mazaika fog light mbali naye you see amaika remotes iye ataona basi kumacheka mono
no, I've heard that posted abomba wina ke samapanga complain zomwezo.
Yes, rally vest lugaka remotes. You see, also got this from the factory. You have to go what technician inokamuza apa pali kuyaka ntau general technician basi pamepo banaisa mawaya kucheka mama kuti anakha technician knowledgeable anakatha ungopita no basi no pa website ya
banga check
ndikucheka no kuti what is going on anakatha kuona kuti no, if this one is reverse makhawa kuti la clear for glide it's ready anakatha kuona why is this one red, why is this one
clear
ndoti mutu makamazo ngati mwina uyanasintha chilenzi chonseja nazaika you know something like that. Then magalimoto akamapya and all these issues mapezeka kuti we are finding all sorts of problems. Issue nthawi nayo kumakhala the technician himself kwa magalimoto akuti watsatire lesson nanalembera manyo you can drive even 3,000 300,000 400,000 galimoto osapita be without any particular breakdown izingopita kwa magalimoto chamaonjekana magraduate because we are not following the rules, wrong oils, wrong filters. You know, this is
so how do we know the best technicians? Actually, I'm laughing because I was walking around with a friend. We were passing by a garage, and then he started this story. Sometimes my business and Amazon with a bunch. Then I was like, and then again, and remember decision you have particular worker. Chifodi makazi tuzambiri chonchi.
Yes.
Timasiya okala ine mene pambali chifodi makazi tuzao nthazo mujani mulibemo.
Yes.
But what are we supposed to make a decision of the kuti ukufuna panga purchase? Ngati omwe zinthu zawo zimakhala all the time. Isn't that a danger kuti samagulitsa kwambiri you will end up kapeza zinthu zoti za expire something like that. So he was like ngati magarage ayitwa ndiso magarage ena pake pamadzadza anthu nthawi zonse koma panja papo papakukhazi magalimoto chonchi. What are these people coming here for? Because if I'm going to a garage and all the time a garage amakhala is magalimoto zikugona pompo magalimoto zambirimbiri, it tells me kuti these guys samathokoza magalimoto. Why are these cars staying there? If I would go to a garage and ndapeza magalimoto awiri lero I would be assured that these guys ndoti turnover yao ndiyapo amathautani kukoza magalimoto. That's why magalimoto ajasamagonika pamene paja. So just that what you're talking about my technicians, I just got reminded of that. How do people know kuti magarages amene ngapite ndi uko? I'm not sure if there's any body that certifies apart from many people na certificate awo amene anapanga kaendi ku Lilongwe technical kaena anapita ku pole, but what I know most of these people the ones that you are talking about anapita pa workshop amapereka maspana anakenako they have become used to that thing. Always now we can open a garage or we can now start working as a full-time technician. How do we avoid non-knowledgeable technicians when it comes to car servicing and fixing?
Yeah, as you've pointed out, you might have a bit about your business, Magalimoto and all that, and you've compared into my shops. You know, per garage should be able to tell the organization about garage. You know, of course, my technician, you know, Amazon owns a Magalimoto, but they're disorganized. Upeza kuti magalimoto angonjika pamene kuti akonza galimoto inake uko ndimina afuna kaipange test ahambe kukankha zina zimene zili kunjako izizi zili kuchita kunjako. So umatha kufika pamalo ndikuona no organization ya technician. And sometimes it's a good thing weka kungopanga dig information ya technician amene kuti easy land anabwera ni ma dealers. Of course my technician amene panopo ochukawo people have been telling each other with time.
Okay.
With time akaumauza but then the younger technicians who are just as good. They are very good. Kumano magraduate say kuti pachuka na magalimoto ambiri all over the place. Pali ma mechanics just ma oil zao and all that see ena gona galimoto ya client ena galimoto na masula engine. I think as my passes jazika ku back seat, you know, you have to start questioning a lot of questions. what's going on here. You know, antazi na ukati kupita pitapo zidaboti galimoto iyi yakhalisapo anayi masula kale kujeniku zimaziwikira kuti inde adawa mwina amazokonza magalimoto. Maybe he does koma he's disorganized, because he might be a good technician, but if you're disorganized there's a problem. And masuku ano umasiya galimoto ku garage, to me it's an issue.
Actually, that's one of the things that we are talking about.
Yes.
We're talking about the same thing. Really, I don't think it's safe Vanova.
No.
Upita bagaja, basi wapita mamawa, mazago zoti ai basi nde musiya galimoto kuno.
You know, my technician in actually amaguza umathakwera na kunyumba kwako. Galimoto kuyenda bwino janchani. Umongo muzoti, can you come gamdanga? Yeah, then mafuna gracha kwanga and all that.
Yes.
You know, kusiya galimoto ku garage these days it's risky. We kaso zitakuona condition. You know, I've been to garages. Kuna mtu abwesa galimoto with a small problem. So because the technician was quick back, some of those how is mungu funika fuse ina yake. Ndio takanga galimoto ina yake akuzula memu cha kuzadana. Akuzaiga ndio muzuri client wina akuikira iwe kumabira zoti ulipira pompo. Wimuna mafuta kanala akula galimoto ina ichi. That's why with time, if you leave your car with budget papa garage, with time
chances are spare parts are minimum.
Yes. Umapeza kuti the owner is not even there, pangotsala ma mechanics or the helpers, they are there. Those guys, they can do anything on your vehicle. Let's say magalimo to 20, 30. How do you know kuti umo ajosama ojeni katali kujeni converter ija aijotsama? How do you know? Umo jota ajosaja kuti how do you know? Munako jagamaza bwera haya mwene gambla mwesi yantawe ya Italy and all that, you see. When it's up to you as the owner of the vehicle, I don't think it's right. We see a galimoto garage for a long time.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let's move. We can talk about vehicles and whatnot. I think one thing that I would also want to get you with you in the and let's look at transport system ya Malawi kuna.
Yes.
Maybe conversation kupanga is for very few people.
Yes.
The ones that are buying cars, have got cars. They still use public transport.
Exactly.
And there's always going to be a conflict between private car users and public transport users, maybe because of many zintuzidi the system yake mene makalira. I mean basi asienta yani ndemse ojama congestion chani zojitika zakezo, and we have seen a rise of ngozi za panse ubanova. Now we have got njinga za moto because everybody wants to get to their destination faster. And njinga ya moto ijema ninga uti za fast izo imateka when we have got queues and all these things. When you look at our public transport system, many in my cities, you have stayed here in Longwe. Earlier on, you're telling me you now live in Zuzu, but you travel mostly in Kusalima where you're doing other things. What could be the challenge that we have as a country when it comes to public transport system? And when you look at those challenges and you see it from all these conversations that you have with people in the groups and whatnot about cars, what are the solutions that can address my challenges? I mean,
public transportation, at least we're using the word public transportation. We're not using organized transport region system, public transportation system, because that thing is supposed to be organized. Our country, I think we've got some way to go. Actually, it's a long way to go. Because to start with, I think Zambi Dimangozi Gonjera, right?
Yes.
Dimangozi Gonjera because maybe we can't afford certain things. Talk about Mabongo, Achugan town. What is public transport.
Ndi magari motote azinyamulandu.
But look at the about Geneva website. They are written as vans, right?
I've always had this question because never got realize kuti mabongo tikababwera timabwera topanda mipando kunoku.
Yes.
Mipando timaika timachita kuikira toka, but when we are buying it from wherever.
Yes.
Now I've been asking myself, okay, why is it that amatibweretsera magari moto ayitotsamo?
I remember initially mina kambo mene mabongo ankakana temeti mauji
mahaisi
because haisi zinapeza kuti ngati mahai ufu amabwera kuti this is for passengers, They might have any safety measures and even comfort and all that.
Yes.
But these mabongo amena choka banopo and my van, even the kapita Japan but van. Which means you can survive under my window.
Yes.
And no
amajita kuangela so modified.
Yes. You can't see the window not a temporary seat. Ndikuni makhoti banda mabelt janja because makha kuti is temporary. When we know na kama kugura quantum for example. There's a good it's comfortable. In the massive seat belts and everything because it's meant for passengers. Which means in my normal we've just modify something which magama damenali ma van turn them into
passenger
vehicles, which they are not. Those are vans. And ukamaendesa you are able to tell this thing is a van. It's not comfortable. Ukamapita nditumawo kuti leso libali mphepo kwambiri mapizoti kuzozika nkhani za mphepo and safety and zero because you know ikabwera without seats anthu achangopita kuyera 25 kapita kumanganga kuti aikisa ma seat. Even the way those seats are put name jamona kuti munthu apeze kuti even in space is not there. Zitsulo zimene akuyuza zamipando zija some of them are sharp. Zoti zikuwakanda anthu ena akamatsika wina wangamba chovala wina kuzicheka kumene. You know, which means any slight accident imapezeka kuti chifukwa cha ujeni space imene nkati mujeni imene anthu mwakhalira
the damage yake makhala
the damage is high, which means those vehicles already they're not for passengers. And then you've talked about kwabuyano njinga za moto. You know, njinga za moto so unfortunately tanguzi banga accept misewu mwatu. Now every month is business media zunguka zikuchulukira. Every month for anthu ajamango phunzitsana background rampi, right?
Yeah.
How to change the gears, how to make that thing go forward.
Ngati chamba kupita kutsogolo akamayima kumapezoti wachibalance basa amatha kuyendesa njinga ya moto.
Akangozungulira ground jaga 10 basa I can ride this thing. Ndota kulowa pansi. Kwa mamoa pansi usaudani sangwatsi. You know? So unoti ngoziso zambi zimene zachuluka and makajoti zambiri akana njinga za moto zija because these people are not trained. Some are more passive. Nikona episode akupanga overtake this side. Of course, I might undertake it on the wrong side. Because I mean, it was so good.
That's I think one of the most common mistakes. Many and how magundana na.
Exactly. And my casual designer car would maybe in the riders. I'm not saying good they deserve to die or no. I'm not saying that. Man, I caught ambili in the inaka issue because maybe they're negligent. Kumano then I'm a caught in passengers.
Passengers I guess so that ananyamuna na watu
atatu on the same bike. Kamwana mina galiba tanki ya fuel ija, kamwana galiba menepa. You know basically no guti but you know this thing is free for all. And banobona amba kuchubuka na every day amba kuchubuka and I'm telling you with time zizatu futa wambi. Because those people and ngati ku Brazil right atali kwa mbili kwa basi ndati mapezeka kuti wagali moto akangunda njinga ya moto wagali moto chada mathawa because azinsaka adamabwera kummenya wagali moto you know because now some tengo to got the right to be here. So unasoda njinga za moto aja you know why still sanazipange be formalize and I still feel anakapanga tizinthu that basic toda azikhala to magamera ngati ma indicator lights njinga zija
helmets,
headlamp, helmets, and
reflectors. Just Zana Nomeli who are driving from Bunda. So to Gwenda, kuna gari moto ina busina bange mafula isana bange ma dim lights. So I do that. Ngwada man is a camera manager. Then we just realized we to go over tuba. But what before we knew it, it's one jinga ya moto. No light, nothing. And you kungoona kuti no there's something in front of us.
Yes.
Okay. And then we observed almost angati just on that stretch within not even just ka reflector kungomata again akauta zoneka usiku. You already have no light.
Yes.
So yeah, I think the basics
we need
to be enforced.
They need those basics. In the jabu no sanazpange register, alibe my license, chani. Kwa mwina kuma panga group. In clusters, other base and Georgity and Clear and 23, Gadam Conduct 25, could at least have rear view mirror. Mugamende sometimes to wear a gun or Gumbuyogu. At least Mukandi mind indicator lights, as is what Mukote. At least my business, you're saying reflectors in my helmet. At least these basic things. Whilst we are waiting, good to Zabange register, Jingazi, and whatever, safety is required. Because as it were, I'm a gun they are safer than Antamena.
Exactly.
One of us a traffic. They are always on amagalimo.
That was my
who
question.
are much safer than Anjingazamoto.
That is my question right now to you. What do you think is wrong with law enforcement, Pansel? Because panovande, it's what njinga ya moto ndi kwa njinga kapalasa ndi chimodzimodzi the way they are treated.
Yes.
Palibe zoti ayimitsidwako tani. If you want to do anything on the roads freely without being stopped by any law enforcement about whatever you are using, why have we decided to say, oh, the laws will only apply? A motor vehicle is now just a gari motor, not njinga motor. Where have things gone wrong?
In a way, I really don't know where they've gone wrong. Because, and what I've noted is, let's talk about njinga motor. Njinga motor, to start with, one of one DA, muna kujo samina grass and all that. I'm going to need insurance. Or mutani. Yes, that they made mupindule. So in allowing those people to achurukane like that, and whether they want it or not, achurukana every day.
Every day.
Agagulisa foja, agagulisa soya, whatever, they are still buying those bikes every day. Zuchukana go to in the districts is zuchukana. It's I feel the authorities as that about safety. I think they have just to take a bold step. They have to take a bold step. It's made an good mean I'm in my basics. Then eventually those bikes have to be registered. They have to be registered indeed to it. Go to Tanzania, to Dar es Salaam. There are more bikes than here, by far. Komasunga Bezenjinga mini are registered. Okay. It's not possible. Of course now so they ride in Mujazina, but at least they are registered. Which means that Gundana or whatever.
They know what we need to follow up on this case in resolve.
Yeah, resolve. So I don't know what has happened. Others say it's political, others say this, others say that. Come, I'll tell you, I still feel the authorities, those who are responsible, have to take a bold step. Because there is no way, even the manufacturer, even the manufacturer.
Oh, actually yesterday I saw 4 by area 18 Pompa. And I'm a police, area 18 filling station. I would take the data. We know, without even fear of anything.
Yes.
4 people on one motorbike.
Yeah, but I think they've allowed it to get out of control. Because as it were, Panoba is out of control. What they should know is, those who are responsible for these authorities, they should know that people are losing lives. Every day people are losing lives. And once you lose a life, that's it. And why should Anjingazamoto to be higher, my casualties, the issue is because these guys are not trained. They're not trained, and I don't know if it's true. I to go Central Hospital and the area
Yeah, it's
that's
true.
what I heard.
No, it's true. I know it's true because there was actually a report. I think most of I don't know if it's the U.S. Embassy has got keen interest in that. Chifukwa, the ripple effect of what is happening is now straining the delivery services.
Yes,
so I think they actually started a project deliberately to find out really from nowhere child mortality rate kaja kana kamba kupanga peak and amene akufa ndi ma illnesses oti these guys could have been treated akakutani kakukwera. Now they were correlating that to what is happening. Most of the stuff akumakhala engage really akupanga treat anthu achani angozi ngozi izo zomakhala chani. So there was a graph, there was something that I saw, there was a report imene amapanga ndithu chaposera pompa and I think they created that zone kuti aone apange observe kuti kodi ngozi zidi zikupanga impact on other service deliveries zao kuku.
Exactly.
And I think they accelerated ndithu amanga ndithu create ka zone kuti azipangidwa treat.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a big thing, and when you look at an impact like that, you now realize it's a bigger problem that we're dealing with than ngozi ya njinga ya moto imene yachitika. Because the fact that unakapanga ngozi ya njinga ya moto wathamangira kuchipatala anakweza napo anthu atatu. Medical service imene yazipatsidwa kwa anthu ena kuti mina akudwala chani, all the nurses akuthamangira kuchani kwa ICU. So it's at 4 or 5 operating on one person.
Yes.
These people would have been helping and they're being neglected.
Exactly.
So it's easier to look at the smaller picture,
yes,
and forget what
the bigger picture.
All these things are now causing mapeto.
Exactly.
People are losing lives when they could have been saved.
Exactly.
How many kids are becoming orphan Ivanova just because of
yes,
NIG failed to just adhere to road safety and laws for them to just be safe.
Exactly. And why are people getting on these bikes already? We don't have an organized transportation system. Because I'm taking a risk.
It is
just getting on this bike. How
we are going. Because one thing that I don't understand about public transport and how everybody is now conniving that we should all be breaking the laws.
Yes.
Ama kutenga ni minibus ku 25 kwa jinsapo. These people know kuti ma police checks alipo atatu. Ngati kudusa ukupa Ntandire uyiveza, pa ABC uyiveza. Nthawi nake pa Bingu Stadium. Ukusa unwa chinsapo so liso ndima sport checks ake pamene makhala traffic. They will overload you in the vehicle. Akaonera traffic ajali hapo amauza ma passengers
ndi conductor
tatsikanitsikanika mungoenda kapena mutenge anjinga tioloke tikafika hapo. And this is a tribute if you are just 3-3 yakwana bwino minibus ija simunapange overload. License driver ali nayo, everything is okay. Kaulendo kuti muyenda bwino by 10-15 minutes mwafika ntauni ngati ali siya game umu. People are spending time kutsika ndikuyamba kuyenda ndikadikira apa ndikukweraso kukafika pena ndiye kwinako ndi amadzalowa kuseri kwa zinyumba kwina kwake. You spend 30 minutes on a tribute on a normal day. 10-15 minutes mweno kama tani mwafika. And that for me is what causing people to say basi mene yendele apa ndikangotenga wanjinga at least uyu ndenda naye mwachangu. So it's like kuti passengers, conductor, driver, tonse tukugwirizana.
We are conniving. Yes, so let's break the laws. Let's do this because, as you're saying, my passengers, they've got the right to put no.
That's the question is, how much do we know as passengers of the right that we hold, and in also trying to uphold malamulo apansewu uku malamulo komakuso right yathu ya chimene takweracho kuti tikweno khala bwanji.
As passengers. Ndimona fair Malawi sizindikakacha. It's sometimes we subdues into zambiri mbiri zokuti they could have been controlled or fair as people can control. So even minibus wazeka kuti driver, conductor or makalipirani kumakulamulirani as if you're in that bus for free.
Exactly.
You have no say. Waona ndima mabanga allow such things to happen. How can the passenger atsika bwani luwe njinga papa menozo by police check iweyo a passenger walipira and accept kuti nditsika and
either uyenda kwera njinga ati akapalasa ndukatsika patsogolo kenako
zafika ndithu anjinga aja kumayembekeza ma minibus akangona kuti pala police anjinga
amakayima apa
amabwera apa.
And the funny thing is we are conniving because if ina police iwo they know kuti apayimapo akutsitsana awakudutsa apawa amupanisha apapa alipamina tupini apatsa for something but kwinako but they go
and it's a lot of people ndimene ukambazo amene auza miyoyo ena avulala there are other people who are responsible who could have stopped such things from happening. There are certain people for the sake of mina ndipezekena kake now people are dying. For instance zizuchilika faja kuvutika getting on a bike ndi kuvutika. Already even abetu mabongo ametu kwa kamba mavaniwa zokhazo because if we had a very organized transportation system could you hand into mabasi if you had been to Tanzania let's say 10 years ago bus lane. Kupita panopezo kuti anayika bus
lane yoti it's dedicated for
akuti atapeza kuti anthu amachedwa kuntchito chanchana to their former president katapita ku government offices anapeza anthu achedwa kufunsa the traffic iye kulo ntando kuna I think indeed traffic I think there's a problem that's when he decided to dig a bus lane. Now they've got a bus lane. That bus is very very quick and safe. and cheap, which means even my issues I meet now pakati pa I meet in our fuel. It means people would have been leaving their vehicles at home ndikumakwera mabhasi amenati because makiwa it means that tukakamira magalimoto kwambiri because we don't have alternative means of transport. You see, because amagalimoto akuopa kuti ndizikwera njinga akuopa kuona bus ujeni bongo ishu yake yokwera 44 azikamuzoti tsika wabvala suti yake bwana wa mubanki tsika kaye kwera njinga yoyo ndikakutengera kutsogolo. They cannot do that. Kona twakakamira makiu. But had it been good, we have a very organized transportation system. I'll go into the bus. I'll go into the bus. Which means my mini bus are joining us with going to my location somewhere inside the city. So as it were, people have no alternative. Now they're taking my risk and in the process others are losing lives. And what we should know is if somebody loses a life, that is Mutwapita is gone.
And it's a responsibility that these people have also left. Yes. And we don't usually account for that part of loss. But how many people were actually depending on this person?
Which means there's no insurance. There's nothing.
Nothing, but
not even a coffin. It's got nothing. We just today were for Muk. Probably not a cheap. That's it. And that is bad. We should not look down on the Antodi Ovutika, looking down on them. It's not valuable. No, as you're saying, I'm a Koda Indiana, Chanchana, I'll see a Mofans, I'll see a Mako, I'll see a Nandan. I'm a Kumu and the Mama Mudali, a family. And then he goes. It's not on. It honestly is, as we're saying, basics are safety. When it comes to Jingazamoto, even the minibuses.
Okay. So, talking to a person like you who has now created a platform that has become very influential, Noyoka Facebook group is now very influential.
Yes.
We might not know it, but we see it everywhere. Everybody who wants to talk about cars, they will refer you to post and you will see the type of engagement that is there. Have you ever had with your community now, the people that you interact with, have you ever had an opportunity to have an interface, let's say with the stakeholders in this case could be the Department of Road Traffic Directorate, Maka dealerships, my agents, magari morokuno, road traffic, just to like sit down as people that have got interest in mobility. Like we have said, everybody wants to import something that is a bit cheaper for them. But to look at the bigger picture of where we are heading as a country, but is into Zambia, people are pushing for electric cars, people are pushing for what? We have got the new development of address now, 3-lane roads, journey, all these things. Have you been engaged, or have you engaged some of these people to say, okay, if we push for efficient modes of transport agenda? That's why Matandiza and who are Magari Moto, Journey, this is an agenda about safety. Let's sit down and discuss. Has that ever happened, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, formally, it hasn't happened. Commando lately, just like a couple of months ago, our planter team, Know Your Car, led by Mark Murray, one of our admin, Tinapentam zebra
crossings. Yes.
Yes, of course, we had to engage even road traffic. We want to do this particular thing because when you do those things, it means you have to follow certain rules. The type of paint you are using and all that, which means we're a bit concerned in the safety. From a zebra crossing, I made an painted round You see, and I see they use cheap paints. From paint certain special paints. I jam on negative very thick.
Yes.
One billion just after a few months.
It's gone.
Not even months, weeks, because of that's why I had to paint those, and we wanted to do the same thing in Zuzu as well as Kunoko. Salima, Zomba, these areas where my members wanted to do these things. But at least we should show we are also concerned about safety issues on the roads. And brother Gonku Banobono Afuna, yes, Wabanga Ngenji, Jinga Zamoto, our KYC, the Branta team. They want to engage Jinga Zamoto in terms of having my reflectors and the basic things I told you about. At least as a candimina grass. At least I can indicators. Of course, maybe the authorities, necessary authorities, are not enforcing.
Yeah.
These guys and talk.
At least for them, they understand the importance of having this.
Yes, Farmer Jama chairman now. You sit with chairman, you not just bring your team. What's the problem of you having my indicators? What's the problem of you having my rear view mirror? What's the problem of you having my reflectors? Akalibasi ngukambia nokwauza kuti those people need to be told kuti ngati from Zimbabwe authorities at least mubezinja zokuti inu also you're showing concern at least van my helmet would at least my passengers are safe. So that's what we're about to do. Kumano ukoko so zikhankhan zake zokhazo you have to follow certain rules kumana benda traffic before you engage our anjinga za moto.
All right.
Sure.
As we are running out of our time now, what's the next thing when you look at the community that you have created and when you look at the status of the country's transportation system? So let's look into issues of sustainability. I don't think it's on that people can keep importing cars that a year, 2 years later, agajisiya basi yapagira aguti chinata basi, like you can see this is like a proper car, but for some reason gamoto ejayo akangoyipagira yudikira mwina braking or something if at all the braking time will come. Well, as we look into development and whatnot, what are some of the things that you wish you want to do or you plan to do to just make sure that you can still push your influence and also help a lot of people when it comes to issues to do with cars?
Yeah, in the short term, I think Kumawa will still stick to these vehicles which we're importing. Of course, now there's a problem too. To start with the devaluation and
forex in the
those prices, the vehicles now the prices are quite high, and then forex also is an issue. Kumano. And then I remember someone using Tainage Magamo Magua border, they come down with about 52%, something like that. My issues I go come. Now look at the vehicle, Garmodregalo. It's not just about you. Authorities are dying in the city. When you bring in a vehicle, what that car does, that car is actually giving employment to a lot of people. If you start my spare part, my shop was it's because people are bringing vehicles, or whatever. This is all Antagamanga filling station somewhere. Antagamanga filling station. It's because people are bringing my garment. And even the owner of the garage is also employing 4 or 5. Which means garment shouldn't be looked down upon. So in the short term, I think we'll be stuck with these vehicles. Historically, we had dealers. We had dealers of all the vehicles. Big Peugeot, Stansfield Motors, now automotive products. Remember, Mercedes Benz, VW. We had dealers in this country, and people were buying brand new cars. Buying these vehicles is so good. They are supposed to have been thrown away because Japan got another because they cannot throw them into the ocean. Why would the Milan? And also, there is a big chunk here transportation. The actual car itself from a country cheaper one be. $200, $100. Kumagwina which will be freight. Meaning good garment not being cheap. Now they are coming here. It's difficult. But this car was supposed to have been thrown away.
Oh yeah.
Maybe in the wrong time. You talked about electric cars, and in town, it's also electric. But those vehicles, but no one know how many people can afford those vehicles.
Them. That's the thing.
You see? So many it is easy to vote a mind for some time it's affordability. Affording those vehicles, and the banks so they're not ready to come in to
give out loans for
they'd rather wokuti she's getting a lot of
money
kuti azona kuti okay wetikhoza kumpasa ujene access yoti agule galimoto through ujene mafacility akubankiwo kumano ukhale kuti ndipo kudula and then you are able to survive. Kumano how many people can manage that? And tikakhala kuti you are not even employed, it's even worse. Some on a security yokuti ugwe a brand new vehicle and then you see after namtoti alvanchito and is earning a lot of money. So as of now we are stuck in the magalimoto our Japan ngakhale no even border kona ambaso kucheba malowedwe ake amba kucheba with time and inoyo concern yanga sekhaso ku ibwera kumabongo mwaji kuti ngati magalimoto amba kucheba olowa ku border it means mabongo sameti marenga the public transportation system pamwe amba kucheba amba kuti ndini mwaganiza kuti eventually what's going to happen because ngati mabongo amene tikwadalira wasakulowa it means asandi njingazi probably
so everybody will be now
ndi masienta tikafika no leverage atu yokuti no we don't have a very organized transportation system asandi masienta also anyway now they're expensive ndazi kama masienta ke ukuthaso ngati awo you know ndi mafrido sosoka you know that's what is going to happen. Yeah.
Your last opinion on efficient public transport system. Wagambazama basi, we know we have seen coach lines. Ambi Siruzori Banova Arowera Kuti. People had bought a lot of buses bagada.
Yes.
But none of those buses, I think it was only one company, mene Nabwera, could you find Mabanga Mashantinga and Town.
Yes.
Mabwetsa system gawa ya payment, muzabanga ticket muzanchani wa from nowhere as well nango ya bakakakas tonala baso bano mahayala. Good public transport system, mainly efficient, which is basically use of proper buses. The way you talked about Yago Tanzania. To take people from, let's say, city center kuja ayimaza kuti mazoti inyamuka nthawi yakuti mamawa kapita kwakuti vuto ndi chani kweni chimene chimatipheretsa ife.
Now of course pandicate on my own ndikakhala ndikamama panga misewu iyi ya mulilongwemo the time they're doing it of course kukhala 3-lane which is good because 3-lane eventually mukuzozeka lane ina ya mapaso ma ambulance or when the president is passing through ka police you know kwina wana kati apanga konseku kuti ukhala ndi facility imene ukhala ndi ujeni access ya another lane ikhala ngati emergency zinakhala bwino kwambiri chifukwa kumene tikulowera kwina I'm seeing we're gonna have problems chifukwa ujanabwesa mabasi uja you know ineyo kungoganiza mazo this guy is not going to last. Why I was saying this is because as user ma ujeni mweyo misewu yake yathu so kuti bus major izadzi
inyamuke
ikalowesa mu heavy traffic urban traffic ivutika. And if you talk about the coaches macoach aja kwa ine nimaona ngati it's a marketing issue. Those guys it's a marketing issue because they should know who are we competing with. They compete with those guys at Jamaima Pamatanka. So but Jamaima Rumina Mahilak, so air condition, the Jan Zima paper Jomatengantu. The same thing. Yes. So these people maybe of course they might pay slightly less. Komano a coach samanga na issue how do we fill all the seats in this bus? You know, Palindeg is out the low cost state. Because South Africa, you know what they do? Amati, if you book the seat earlier, you're given a discount. You know, if you book, let's say 2 weeks in advance, I'm gonna a discount. Which means I'm going to force. I got book a seat in advance. I should get that seat. You know, then they give us all the time they're full. Because people make advance with the bookings. Then madabama watch you all the time mama rolera because nda zatenga tu calculator then I was calculating kuti ataka kuti akulipira less kwa masido saba ngidwa feel mbizo kuti
it's still be making
actually they be making more money than have a bus journey half full and drama zambiri mbiri ndi bus yozaza drama yochepa ine mafuna ata yesa imene iyo kuti amene mubange advance bookings you know people would be forced kuti you know coach you want it's safer you know it's comfortable mukamuli uje free wifi and all that and if I pay this ntengo ndo about jeni pa matanki it's almost the same. Why don't I get the bus? You know, this is just my snacks name and all that. Kumano alisakabwesa basi yake mtengo kumabwera kumano sakumayang'ana kuti who is our competitor.
It's not the bus against the bus.
No, it's not the bus against
the alternative
ways of transport. Because no se movila Blantyre, no se movila kunzuzu. So people say, ndikaima pa matanki. Azira sokusanka gari moto da ne Hilux chubwera iko machimenesho. Food range basi akumpya memucha akumavi. Kumano those buses there's of course there's one bus in panga overflow and mitengoti yabwine. Okay. There's one G2 operator imapanga overflow mtenda mazavika soka mini bus. Because anasa ngoti if go to the low prices because you know mtu amakwera bus coach you're going to Blantyre, you're not looking for that snack.
No.
You're not looking for kasamusa kina gake and
it's your comfortability. Okay, masiti age munonda bwino. 2 ndikafika nthawi bwino
because you know it's only 4 hours.
Yeah.
You don't need the snack. Then why don't they take off those snacks or magulisa drop the price ndikumagulisa da amafuna snack amafuna
uzigula but we have them available mbasi momwe.
Yes, then drop the price because anthu aja kuchajidwa zinthu zimezi so anthu amakuja tusamusoja doza mazoti ndalipira tusamusa so takumufuna but because he has paid for that I'm not in India
basi.
You know, so those guys are did through it's a marketing issue or already ntai zina mwina once a month kukandidi ma questionnaire kuma basa ma passengers they'll be surprised. My passengers was kuti if you don't need your food, your bus is expensive, your bus is not comfortable, air konyano si ugia nchito at least once a month ngwa basati ma questionnaire don't kupanga tick ine mabasa maja now naga it's a marketing issue.
Okay,
indeed true.
No, Conrad.
Yep.
Thank you so much for taking your time coming to us when we just invited you with a very short notice.
Yeah, sure.
And we need to have a conversation around all these things happening.
Yep.
And this is not the last time that you're here.
No problem.
We'd want to engage you more as things happen. So you can just tell us whatever is happening out there. And also, I think we would be willing as Lab 20 to see how we work with you and facilitate some of these things, like these conversations. We have Lab 20 tours and safaris, so we are also buying a lot of cars to just help in these areas where people are able to hire cars from us, go on planned trips at least and nyamuke guru than my families Christmas years nyamuka antu my families are 3-4 also afuna vide kunyanja.
Young people don't get into a bongo.
So they would rather get one bus apanga package tour bwino mufuna mupite kuti. They're provided with one car, the fuel it up it than magari moto 4 or 5 just what the same team. So
exactly
we want to see how we explore more of these alternatives and just help a lot more people travel safely on our roads with comfort actually and safety as a key thing. Sure. Now
B was available anytime and thanks for having me.
No, you're very, very welcome.
Sure, bro.
And that was how we conclude this podcast episode with Conrad, who is the guy behind the Know Your Car, the famous Know Your Car Facebook group on Facebook. And it has been my pleasure to just talk to him about different things to do with cars, transportation, and safety as a key thing in this conversation. If you like this conversation, if you have got any other questions, make sure you follow the group, you join the group, Know Your Car Malawi, and he's one of the admins. So if you have got any questions, you can ask him. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast wherever you have watched it or you have listened it. My name is Dennis, and as usual, I had my team in the building, Mr. Ziko Mozixembwana, the camera guy, and Mr. Vincent. Thanks to the whole crew, Pierre, Greer, Miracle, who will be doing the post-production for this podcast. Like and subscribe to podcasts. Lab 20 Innovations podcast on all platforms. Until next time, when we come to sit down with another guest, peace, stay safe on the roads of Malawi. We want to see you alive